Here is a Lasko clip V-in. I'm not sure what the model number is off the top of my dome because the sticker has been canceled out. Oh, I didn't get very far into that video. Okay, we're back. This, I believe, internally is more or less identical to the Lasko 2004w, except this has the clip base as opposed to the tabletop base. Even the height adjustment, I think, is pretty much the same. So I got this for $5, which is significantly lower than retail. I think that this might actually be a high hours unit. It looks like it's pretty caked inside there with dust, and there's a lot of hair wrapped around the shaft and so forth, and that's not consistent with the amount of dust on the blades and the guards, so this might be a rare case where this has actually been cleaned. I have been wanting to get one of these for upstairs in the living room to clip on the windowsill because that desk has fairly limited surface area, and so to be able to clip a fan on the edge of the windowsill in front of the window instead of putting one on the desk itself would be much better. So that's what I intend to use this for. Looks like this has a clip for, or not a clip, like a key slot for a wall mount as well, which is kind of cool. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this on and see if it works. This should make for an interesting clean and service because I think it's really pretty high hours. Oh, not yet, not yet. So we are testing with 119.7 volts. It's kind of all over the place. Now it's up to no, it's back. We'll go with 119.7. We'll go over to the amps. These are very low draw. I think they're only less than 20 watts. But the information is gone, so again I don't have that information to reference here. Alright, we'll turn it up on low. Alright, so as you can, or perhaps as you can't hear, it is very quiet, and it's pushing a pretty reasonable amount of air too. I think that these are one of, if not the best, desk fans currently in production. The only other one that I would say comes close to this in terms of volume would be that little Wuzoo one, that little 4-inch one, but even that is kind of almost its own, like in a category by itself. It's a little different than this one. But these are extremely quiet. You can see it's moving pretty good air. As far as the balance is concerned, it's not perfect, but it's actually reasonable, which is kind of surprising for a Lasko product. I don't know what it is with Lasko and the blades, but Lasko can never seem to get the blades correct. The power information is 0.16 amps, 13 the watts, with a power factor of 0.65. So the only downfall to these is that it is a very inefficient shaded pole motor. Granted, it's a very low power draw to begin with, but if this were to be a PSC motor, you could have the power draw down to like 0.05 watts or something. I mean, not 5 watts, 0.05 amps. I mean, something really, really low, almost negligible. It's not a cheesy little C-frame motor though. These at least have like a dual pole, 2-pole motor, and they seem to be of reasonable quality. We'll go to the number 2. I bought a couple of these many years ago, probably close to 10 years ago, and one of them, did I take it? No, I didn't take one more. I used several of them around the house for years. One of them I used almost every day, and I've never encountered any rattling or noticeable wear transpire. So they seem to be able to take a lot of hours, moving pretty good air on high. And this one also appears to be fairly high hours, yet it's still running perfectly fine. I don't hear any kind of bearing rattle or other noises that it shouldn't be making. It's not in perfect balance, but again, for a Lasko product, it's pretty reasonable. This is 0.21 the amps, 16 the watts, with a power factor of 0.66, which is a little bit on the low side even for a sheeted pull motor. I just noticed that this is probably an older one, because this still has the flag logo. That's kind of cool. I think that these have been in production for a very long time. I want to say perhaps even more than 2 decades at this point. I think these have been around since the early 2000s, if not very late 90s. There also exists an Air King version, and it's possible that the Air King version was sold before the Lasko version. I've noticed a bunch of occasions where Lasko products, actually that's backwards. Some of the older Lasko models kind of reincarnate over the years as Air King models. I don't know why I thought it was backwards. Oh, maybe I was getting confused because the Air King model is also likely internally identical, but the only difference is it has a metal guard. That's probably why I thought it was in the 90s. Even the Air King ones made today still have the metal guards, and they also have the grounded 3-prong plug, which is such overkill for a plastic fan that draws 0.2 amps. I really just don't see how there could be any potential shock hazard with this that a grounding cord would eliminate with an all plastic housing. I don't even know what it would be grounding to. I guess it would be grounding to the edges of the motor. It probably doesn't ground to the switch, because I'm sure the switch is just a little cheesy plastic switch. Who knows? Well, the bearings still seem plenty free. It could definitely use a service, but it's not bad. I feel like the blades are a little bit translucent on the Air King ones made today. I have a bunch of the Air King ones at work, and I really think that the blades are more of a translucent color. This switch isn't the greatest. It's kind of easy to turn if you're front on with it, but usually if you're accessing the fan from the front, it gets a little bit awkward to turn, and you have to hold the fan. It's not gonna. You need to apply enough pressure to turn it that it would pop off the clip. Clip's not bad. It's not super strong. It's definitely enough to hold the fan in any direction you want, but it's not super strong either. Just has a basic spring there, which is actually kind of a pinch hazard depending on how much you open it, or I don't know. I guess not. It doesn't seem like it's interested in grabbing my skin at all. Well, anyways, that's that. So we'll use that in the living room, and we'll do a clean and service on it, and it'll be interesting to see just how much dirt is really inside there. I'm going to speculate quite a bit.